They gave her couture, cameras, castles, and now, if the whispers are true, they won't even give her a seat at a funeral. Because the story curling through fashion houses, private fittings, and champagne-soaked after-parties isn't polite, and it isn't subtle. It's the kind of icy society drama that never gets printed on invitations, but always gets printed on reputations. And at the center of it is Meghan Markle, once photographed in Valentino under royal chandeliers, now allegedly facing the kind of social freeze that stings louder than any public statement ever could. According to persistent industry chatter, when the fashion world gathered to mourn legendary designer Valentino Garavani, one name was noticeably missing, and not by accident if insiders are to be believed. The woman who wore a custom Valentino gown at her royal wedding reception, the Duchess, who once seemed wrapped in couture approval, was reportedly not welcomed into that final sacred room of fashion farewell. No dramatic confrontation, no messy headline, just silence, the kind that echoes. And in elite circles, silence is a verdict. For years, that white halter neck reception gown floated through glossy retrospectives as proof Meghan had entered the inner sanctum of global style. That moment at Frogmore House was more than fabric, it was symbolism. Valentino dressing royalty. Hollywood meets heritage. Martin glamour meets monarchy. It looked like a fairy tale alliance stitched in silk. But fashion is not sentimental. It is transactional, strategic, and built on long memories. And the murmurs now suggest that what looked like a lasting relationship may have been more like a one-night headline, dazzling, useful, and over. The version circulating behind closed showroom doors paints a picture of expectations that allegedly outlived the occasion. The wedding moment, insiders claim, was meant to be mutually beneficial, global exposure for the house, iconic imagery for the Duchess. But fashion relationships, like society invitations, have an unspoken rule: the favor ends unless the connection grows organically. According to those whispers, that growth never quite happened. Instead, the narrative being passed around, fairly or unfairly, is that requests continued, access was expected, and the balance between muse and brand tilted in a way that made some luxury insiders uncomfortable. In an industry obsessed with who elevates whom, perception is everything. And once the perception shifts from asset to liability, the velvet rope doesn't just close, it vanishes. That alleged funeral snub didn't happen in isolation. It landed like the final domino in what observers describe as a gradual cooling from multiple corners of the luxury world. Quiet declined invitations, polite non-responses, opportunities that once might have materialized simply not doing so. No announcements, no drama, just the slow social equivalent of being ghosted by an entire industry. And for someone whose post-royal reinvention leaned heavily on lifestyle influence, aspirational branding, and curated elegance, that kind of quiet distancing hits at the foundation. Because Meghan's next chapter was never supposed to be small. It was supposed to be expansive, tasteful, culturally shaping. The lifestyle empire, the curated domestic goddess era, the soft-focused California orchard dream. Instead, critics online and commentators in media circles have questioned whether the image feels more staged than lived in, whether audiences are sensing performance where they crave authenticity. That critique, fair or not, is one that brands take seriously. Luxury houses don't just sell products, they sell feeling, fantasy, credibility. If the person wearing your clothes becomes a lightning rod rather than a halo, the calculation changes fast. And it isn't just fashion watching. Hollywood is watching too. Her appearance connected to a documentary premiere at Sundance was expected to mark a graceful pivot deeper into prestige storytelling. A return to the creative space, but this time from behind the scenes. Thoughtful, serious, impactful. Instead, observers describe the reception as polite, respectful, controlled. The kind of industry energy that says, we see you, but not necessarily we're thrilled. That may sound minor, but in film circles, buzz is currency. Warm applause is nice. Frenzy is what moves mountains. Now, according to behind-the-scenes chatter, studios and producers are studying a delicate equation. Does Meghan's involvement bring attention that helps a project or attention that distracts from it? It's a brutal question, but Hollywood is a brutal town wearing designer sunglasses. And back in Montecito, if the rumors about mounting pressure are true, the emotional toll may be heavy. Public reinvention is exhausting. Public skepticism is worse. When every launch is met with analysis, every appearance with commentary, every partnership with debate, even the most media-savvy figure can start to feel the walls inching closer. Add to that the continuing emotional distance from the royal institution she left behind, a family reportedly maintaining near total silence, and the sense of isolation can look even sharper. No reconciliation arc, no dramatic reunion, just two separate worlds continuing on without intersecting. For someone who once stood at the crossroads roads of Hollywood and royalty, that's a stark contrast. But perhaps the most painful narrative emerging isn't about events she didn't attend or deals she didn't land. It's about relevance. Because in celebrity culture, nothing is more frightening than fading from the center of the conversation. Controversy can be spun. Criticism can be managed. Indifference? That's the real cliff edge. The talk now isn't explosive scandal, it's erosion. Fewer doors opening. Fewer names publicly aligning. Fewer moments that feel culturally dominant. And for a public figure whose power has always been tied to presence, visibility, and narrative control, that shift could feel seismic. Still, history shows reinvention is Meghan's specialty. From actress to duchess. From duchess to independent global figure. Each transformation surprised critics. Each chapter rewrote expectations. The question hanging in the California air now is whether another pivot is possible, and whether audiences, industries, and institutions are willing to come along for the next version. Because in rarefied circles, memory is long, but so is opportunity for those who can recalibrate, rebuild trust, and deliver something undeniably compelling. Right now, though, the mood in the Whisper Network is icy, the invitation selective, and the narrative uncertain. A former royal wrapped in California sunshine, standing at the edge of fashion, film, and influence, knocking, waiting, recalculating. And the doors? They're not slamming, they're just not opening. As the Whisper Network's hum grows louder, so does Meghan's urgent need to claw back what she believes is rightfully hers. The elusive relevance, the fame, the recognition she once had in abundance. But what was once a gilded path forward now seems to be a long, winding road strewn with unexpected obstacles, many of her own making. But let's face it, at the heart of it all, this battle isn't just about fashion snubs, canceled collaborations, or strained Hollywood relationships. It's about image, it's about power, and perhaps it's about a deeply personal struggle to balance the fairy tale she's tried to write with the reality of what it costs to be part of an elite world she once thought would embrace her forever. The reality is, the world Meghan Markle is navigating isn't built on narrative spins, glossy magazine covers, or curated social media moments. It's built on authenticity, something Meghan has struggled to genuinely capture in recent years, no matter how hard she tries. The whispers about her staged persona have followed her from red carpets to back rooms, from private homes to press conferences, and now into her entrepreneurial attempts. Take, for example, the colossal misfire of American Riviera Orchard. What was meant to be a whimsical foray into the lifestyle brand world turned into a spectacle for mockery. Jams that were supposed to be a symbol of sophistication and hard work are now the punchline of every late-night monologue. Every jar unsold is a reminder that she couldn't recreate the magic of her earlier royal days with anything real or tangible. The magic is gone, replaced by something manufactured, something insincere. And it gets worse. The very industries she once banked on, fashion, entertainment, and philanthropy, are quietly stepping away. The long-sustained rumor is that Meghan is toxic in these circles. Whether deserved or not, it doesn't matter. In the world she inhabits, reputation is everything, and the tide has turned. Brands that once jumped at the chance to associate with her now decline her requests for collaborations, or worse, offer cold, dismissive silence. If a brand doesn't respond to an overture, it sends a message louder than words ever could. And let's talk about the royal family, the institution that gave Meghan everything, or so she thought. The reality is far bleaker. Prince Harry's connection to the family is now a distant memory, as evidenced by his recent UK trip, which reportedly saw the royal family go to extraordinary lengths to avoid him. Their response to Harry's visit? A total and utter freeze out. No meeting, no words exchanged. It was calculated avoidance, a strategic move to make it abundantly clear you are no longer one of us. The most cutting part of it all? Meghan's persistent fantasies of a royal reconciliation. It's almost as if she can't shake the idea that someday, somehow, she will be welcomed back into the fold. But sources close to the family are quick to dismiss these hopes. That door, they say, is permanently shut. And for Meghan, whose identity is tied to that institution's glamour, that's a devastating reality to face. Even in the glitzy circles of Hollywood, the cold shoulder continues. Her cameo in the rumored acting return is teetering on the edge of cancellation, as some insiders claim that the negative buzz around her name could result in her being edited out entirely. The stark reality here is that she may not get to stage the comeback she once believed would catapult her back into the limelight. It's a quiet but brutal dismantling of everything she had carefully constructed for herself. Let's not forget the explosive effect of the recent court documents tied to Harry's past relationships. That's right, his former love, Chelsea lovey-dovey resurfaced in the news. And if you think Meghan didn't notice the details emerging about their 7-year romance, think again. Reports suggest that one of the most telling aspects of the revelations was Harry's controlling behavior, something that Chelsea allegedly found suffocating in their relationship. It's a shocking revelation that reportedly left Meghan questioning the man she thought she knew, perhaps even fearing that she was trapped in a similar dynamic. And what's more, the narrative that Meghan so desperately tried to control, that image of herself as the liberator, the woman who would give Harry the life he was meant to live, is crumbling before her eyes. The very system she left behind to forge something new now appears to be proving her worst fears, that the life they were building outside of the royal system is slipping away, not towards a new horizon, but into a dead end. So where does Meghan go from here? What happens when the doors she thought would open to the world slam in her face, one after another? Will she continue to forge ahead with her brand of reinvention, or will she fade into the background of a celebrity world that has moved on without her? The answer might not be clear now, but one thing is certain: Meghan's carefully crafted narrative is unraveling. Her fashion partnerships are drying up. Her film ambitions are stalling. Her royal connection is lost. Her brand's authenticity is being questioned. She may have once been the woman who could do it all, but now the spotlight on her is turning into a cold, unforgiving glare. The next few months will determine whether Meghan Markle can rebuild or whether she will become another cautionary tale in the world of fame and power. As for now, one thing is for sure: the woman who seemed destined to write her own story is struggling to maintain control of the pen. The question remains: can she rewrite her ending, or has the final chapter already been penned for her? Already been penned for her? Already been penned for her? Already